Jim here. I'd like to get your thoughts on an idea I have. I'm building out a operating system for the banking industry. I'm calling it Capital OS, and it's really designed to be owned by the collective industry, so no proprietary. The operating system, anything built on the operating system, is purely open source. What I'm going to show you is a demonstration of an application built in this visualized environment. So the first thing you see here is it's a loan pricing application. So the title's here and the ability to put in a description. And let me jump into the piece parts. The first thing is a sketch. So every time you're going to create something, you need that proverbial back in the napkin kind of sketch. And so I've laid out what it is I'm building. This is loan pricing and profitability, and here are the various components or the various components I'm going to be building out. So now I'll say something specific about an application. That is components. Each of the applications are built around these various discrete components. You can modify them. Each of them are named. You can change the names of them. These were created by scratch by myself in the environment. So this first type of component is a calculation symbolized here. Each of them are symbolized. In this case, it's symbolized by a little division symbol. In here are specific instructions that the operating system runs. And these are, the first instruction is to add interest income and fee income together to come up with revenue. There are libraries. I got a number of library ideas. This is the lending library. You can see if I open up, you can see the instruction library here. These are different functions in the library, like calculating interest, and there's API calls to the Federal Home Loan Bank rates, and there's different things in the library that are pre-built and they're available on GitHub. There's a library link over here inside your instance. Let me make a modification to the instructions to show you how easy this is. I'm going to do an average monthly. And so I'm just going to do this by dividing. I put the parentheticals around here so that I'm adding the interest income and fee income first. And then I'm going to just divide it by the loan term. So that's simple. The other component I want to show you here, which is really cool, is a sigma function. Really common in the banking industry. This is for my cost of funds calculation. So I'm going to start with month one, and I'm going to go to the term. Notice it's not an absolute. It's based on a variable that is defined by an API call or in the application. I'll show you that in a bit. So in this particular case, my instruction is going to work a bit differently. It's going to go N is the month multiplied by the pay down for that month multiplied by the API called to the treasuries for the month. So month one, it'll be 1 multiplied by the pay down month one multiplied by a 1 month treasury divided by the term, and then it'll advance to 2, and it'll go 2 times the pay down in the second month times the 2 month treasury divided by term. So you can build out those kinds of things that are all sigma related, and there's a lot of spreads in loans that work with that type of function. The other is a dictionary component. Really cool, because in this particular case I'm building an operating expense, and I need the expenses to be different on the basis of the type of loan it is. So there's a function here to return the operating cost, but it needs a key value pair for the type. So if I'm going to include a CRE loan, I want to submit a 0.9. So the way this works is these key value pairings these are, in this particular use case, these are weighting for each type of loans. So this is the various components that come up with the application, the results of the application. Let me show you where the code is. I've got an instance of CodeMirror. So if you just want to do it, want to make modifications or build stuff in the code here, this is JSON code, and I'll have a documentation library on that. And freeing it. The most important part is to give it to people to use. And here's how we do that. I'm going to show you how to deploy an API. Go here. It outlines my dependencies based on the component pieces I put together. I need to include a principal, rate, term, and type in my API call, and optionally you can include fees and amortization. It comes up with an ID, so it makes it unique, and we'll save those for you. So if you want to share them, they're unique. Again, you can also share your URL. Here's my get URL. So this is a get call. I'm going to copy this before I publish it, and I'll show you how this works. So let's go ahead and test my new API. I'm going to go in here, and now I need to make modifications because it had some dependencies. So let's do a $200,000 note at 8%, and we're going to do CRE types here. Fees, we'll do 0. It wasn't required. And I don't need amortization. It'll be the same as the term. And here we go. My API is complete and it returns values. So these are each of the components get returned. Remember that first one I talked to was revenue. And then here's that net income over here. That's an important component of profitability. You know how much, what the annual income here is. And then critically, the return on equity, or RAROC. Tell me what you think. Your feedback is really invaluable at this point in the process. Thanks a million for watching.